Go. I do believe we're live, so I'll say, indeed, and greetings unto you. You, beloved and holy friends, what a dear pleasure it is to have you here again. Another opportunity for us to consider the impact on self that thoughts, words, and actions have. Me and Joe this morning did some good yogas together, and then afterwards we had some conversations about projection a little bit, about the way that we see other people, and in that same breath, our inability to see ourselves, how identifying with your thoughts can be erroneous because you're not your thoughts. Today's stream topic was, before we've had that discussion, about thoughts, words, actions. How there's a certain stepping stones happening there, right? You think something, then you say something, and then maybe you do something. However, I want to almost like echo her sentiment that she shared with me this morning, that even though that's true, none of them are you, right? I think probably your actions are more you than your words, are more you than your thoughts, but none of them are you ultimately, right? And I think that's pretty interesting. Pretty neat. My hair is still on its way to getting dried. I need to dry it a little bit more. So yeah, that's what our discussion is gonna be about today.
Give me coffee. Thank you.
You're welcome, my love.
I'm gonna go out there into that cold world.
Yeah, it is actually cold.
Love you.
Love you. Have a good day, my darling.
Sorry.
See you soon. All right. I agree, but only to a point. I hate to make it political or throw out a gotcha, but a Nazi is very much their decision, and that is what they are. I hear what you're saying, right?
In that moment.
In that moment, yeah. Like, I would like to believe that even a Nazi has the potential to become a good person, right? And I can hear Sam being like, no, Melt, a Nazi is someone who is racist and, you know, they've been that way for a long time. I hear what you're saying, or at least the perspective that you're bringing to light. For me, the point is more so not necessarily the projection onto another, but the lens through which we identify as self. Exactly. Right? It's like, I'm not a Nazi, so I don't have to worry myself about not having Nazi thoughts or Nazi words or Nazi actions. All right? Because that's not a part of my framework. I can imagine it's probably hard, right? Me sympathizing with the Nazis, like, oh, you poor thing. Society is gonna hate you, right? You better not share those thoughts that you have. You better not verbalize those words you want to say. You better not act in those actions, all right? And in that way, I'm sure that they probably think themselves
Superior.
Superior is one word, but also victimized. It's like, oh, poor me and my Nazi ways. Oh, shame.
You think I'm a bad person.
They think I'm a bad person. Like, you are.
But you know what?
You are being a bad person.
If they feel victimized, this is the thing. For feeling like people think that they're a bad person, it means that they're feeling that way because they are capable of being a good person, and that's not being expressed.
Yeah, contrast. How about that? How are you so skin?
Their shadow is the good side of them. How interesting. Because Carl Jung talks about the archetypes, the masculine, the feminine, like the jester.
I really like that perspective. I've been thinking about my shadow side, and the fact that their shadow side is good is kind of just like, I love it. It's cool.
Yeah, whenever, there's parts of us that want to be expressed, and it's all like we're capable of being everything. We're capable of being a murderer. We're capable of being a
saint.
Mm-hmm. You know, these are capabilities within the human body, and these thoughts do arise, and we're not those thoughts that arise because they're the capabilities, they're potentials that exist within us. But they need to be expressed in a way that is healthy.
I'm also
Right.
going to say that even if you express them, right, that doesn't mean that they're bound to action.
You can
Right.
express them by running.
Sure, yeah.
Like, you don't have to express them to where it's obvious what it is that you're doing. Right?
You can like take action that's not the action
like, I'm
that you
angry,
thought
I'm gonna
about.
go run about it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
The
like
anger will go away.
fight someone with my fists kind of thing. Well, welcome. We have a bunch of friends here from Nepal. I love you,
friends.
Zhao. You have a good day, my darling. It is already 30 minutes past. How does the time pass so quickly? I wonder. If they want to be something else after that, that is also up to them. I'm not somebody who thinks the swastika needs to be carved on their forehead. Can you imagine? Can you imagine just walking around the world with a swastika on your forehead? Right? I can't imagine they're very popular. At least not in the general public. They probably do have some, what's the word I'm looking for? Brownie points in a certain community. Right? I don't know if you friends know this, and I won't dox them, but we actually have a community member, right? They're not showing up as frequently anymore these days, but they were in a Nazi cult, right? They were at one point in their lives. They were in that cult when they were like in their like 19s to early 20s. So at that point, it's extra formative. You get extra shaped by your environment. But they didn't deserve to be loved any less, right? They didn't deserve to be loved, and they did at least escape that cult that they were in, which is admirable. Good for you, dear friend. I think when we go to lengths like that, the other direction, every nun is a mother of sorts. When we choose with our whole self, we are that choice. Ooh, I like that. I have a busy morning and I can't stay too long, but I have good news. I have been promoted at my job! Title change, pay raise, and when we find a replacement, remote work. Nice. Dan has been telling us about this for a while. Dan even mentioned that he envisions, because of the change in structure and them giving him almost like the reins of the project he's been busy with, that he is expecting a pay raise / title change. And it happened, Dan man, and I'm proud of you and happy for you, dear friend. That's awesome. Thank you for letting us know how you got such a gorgeous chicks. You be a good person. Step 1, be a good person. Step 2, actually care about the other person. That helps. Step 3, continue doing that. Be a good person, care about the other person, you know. Become friends first, right? Actually be someone would want to be a friend with before they're going to consider even being in a partnership with you. How you so skin? I don't know how my so skins. I think my skin is getting better, little by little. This red spot is diminished this morning. I've been using retinol. I don't know if it's helping. Please. I've been, bless you again. I'm happy on the promotion. Carl Young is chill. But you know who isn't chill? You guessed it, Isaac fucking Newton. That guy thought he was a genius until he ate mercury and died at 84 years old. You poor thing. He could have lived to 840, but no. No, he has to eat mercury and stuff about it. Hey man, I need help. You poor thing, bro. I hope you figure it out, dude. That's a hard one, you know. Then I'll fight you right now. I'll like it, dude. Don't challenge me to a good time, bro. Don't you challenge me to a good time. I am a fighter by nature, but a lover by choice. I need to go take my vitamins. You want to see me take my vitamins? Check this. I'm going to do it like that. I'm going to do it like this. And I'm going to go do a thing quickly, okay? Give me 1 second. I'm gonna have to increase my water consumption. Otherwise, I might end up lighting on fire. One of the vitamins I take is a really high dose of niacin. Like, a really high dose. Like 600% of my daily needs. And it makes me, and I'm gonna now notice this time, I'm gonna pay close attention, right? It's supposed to increase the blood flow at your extremities of your cells, right? And you might notice, check this. Watch, I'm gonna give you a thing to hook onto. Right here, I had a pimple or a thing at one point, and after it healed, for some reason it left like a little red spot on my skin. You see how it's light? You can't see it? Bet you $10 that as soon as I take these big B vitamins, the blood flow on my skin is going to increase so much that this spot is going to become brighter red. I noticed this yesterday, and I was kind of fascinated by it. I was like, interesting. I didn't know that could happen. So my B vitamins, and I have vitamin K and D3. And of course, omegas and some magnesium glycinate. And I'm going to do this whole cup of water. And I'm going to drip in some Shiva juice. Ooh. This thing's empty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nice. That's so pretty. I do enjoy this part. And then I will get myself a straw. And I will consume these vitamins. Yes. Ugh. Winning. Sweet. Back again. Now, let's experiment. I should start having it kick in about 10 to 15 minutes. Let's check. As soon as I register that I can feel the niacin in my body, I'm going to stop my stopwatch. For science. Yes. Doing a science on our bodies. This device needs charging again. All right. Hey, from which country are you? I'm from South Africa. Hope you're still here to hear. Love your shirt. Thank you. It's one of the oldest shirts that I have in my closet, actually. Hey, man. They don't deserve to be loved any less. I think that when people say that they're forgetting that Jesus, in his portrayal of perfect love, flipped tables and chased people with bullwhips, what I'm saying, Sam, is not to almost like try and defend at all, that group of people, but more just a matter of realizing that it's not someone I really have interaction with much at all. And if I was going to have an interaction with them, I don't think a hateful interaction is going to make the world a better place, right? That's kind of my logic, my reasoning when it comes to that specific topic. It's like, am I going to make the world a better place by hating this person? By punching them? Probably not, right? How can I make the world a better place? I can probably make the world a little bit of a better place by letting them know that they are still worthy of love. And just as much as they are worthy of love, despite their hateful thoughts, maybe,
just maybe, other people are worthy of love to them as well. All right. Maybe it stops them for a second and think, like, wait a second. Maybe other people are lovable too. Yeah, I saw that coming, but it happened sooner than I thought it would, which is a welcome surprise. I'm proud of you, Dan. That really is good news, bro. I'm super excited with you. No, Melt, I'm tired of this 84-year-old business. Isaac Newton was a coward and a thief, and he died as a result. Where did the thief come from? Did he steal anything? I didn't know he stole something. He stole years of his life, Melt, by drinking mercury. That says, stop, stop it. Yo, bro, where are you from? It's 7 p.m. here in India. I am living in Indiana. Right, there's those. Indiana. I'm living in Indiana, and I'm from South Africa. Moved to the States about 3 and a bit months ago. Been living here ever since. Regards from Turkey. Regards to Turkey. From the States as well. Hi, bro. So many asking where I'm from. Hope you friends know now. He that believeth the man card is in jeopardy due to looking gay, has not himself been issued his own man card. Everybody knows manhood is about taking huge poops with the door open. Damn. I've been a man this whole time. And making your own beef jerky. I do know how to make my own beef jerky. But we call it biltong, where I'm from. And it's better than beef jerky. I'll say. Way better than beef jerky. Yes, we all know about Jerkins brand beef jerky. We're not interested, exactly. Hello again, Yandre. Hello, friend. Welcome. Hey, yay. Hey, Noor. It's nice to have you here too. More friends from India. I had so many thoughts about India last night / yesterday. Right? I was cutting the grass and I was thinking about our Indian friends. We had some Indian friends in chat yesterday as well. And just thinking about the fact that, for one, there's like 1.4 billion Indians, right? So the collective consciousness that is humanity is a large percentage Indian consciousness, right? Or at least Indian form as a perspective, right? And I was thinking about the teachings of the Indian culture and the, Hindu religion, Hindu philosophy, and how that must shape a person. I was thinking about how if I was born in India, considering that all of the other circumstances were exactly the same, right? I had a family that supported me, and I had the opportunity to start creating content the way that we do in this space. Would things have been the same? Would things have been different? Would it have helped me, or would it have made it more difficult for me? Right, and all of these things kind of had me just thinking about our Indian friends in this light of wanting to know more, wanting to get closer and learn about that state of the world. Hey dude, where are you from and what content do you create over here? That looked like another Indian friend. I create content that I consider conscious evolutions, all right? We call them live streams, but every single day that we show up with the intent that is love, you consciously evolve, right? And I'm not perfect. In fact, I'm pretty sure I'm not perfect. I make mistakes all the time. I try and steer this space in a direction that will get us on the other side towards light, right? That will help us evolve towards our highest state of being. Today's stream topic is about thoughts, words, and actions, and how our thoughts, our words, and our actions should be aligned with our highest self, right? Your thoughts, your words, and your actions aren't you, but they can be in alignment with your highest self. And what does that look like to you, right? Have you become more identified with your thoughts? Have you become more identified with your words? Have you become more identified with your actions? I'm a very action identified kind of person, right? Because I do certain things
and I attach a certain identity to the doing of those things, right? Like I consider myself stand up. I consider myself hardworking. I consider myself capable, because of my actions. However, I am not any of those things, ultimately, right? Does a soul have to be hardworking? You think souls concern themselves with hard work? Maybe this is the hard work. Just simply sitting and breathing as a human being is the hardest work a soul would ever have to do. And you're doing it already. All right. So that's today's stream topic. That's what we do. We create content from a very natural place, I'd like to believe, right? It's very authentic human expression. And I appreciate being here with you, friends. Thank you for asking. Did I stutter? Isaac Newton is a thief, and I dare you to challenge me on this. Hey, Google. Did Isaac Newton steal anything? Hey, Google. Did Isaac Newton steal anything? Let's check. Isaac Newton was okay, all right. You're not supposed to speak ill of the dead. Oh my goodness, he stole a lot, apparently. Isaac Newton was famously accused of intellectual theft regarding the invention of calculus and the law of universal gravitation. While modern historians generally view these cases of independent discovery, the rivalries were bitter and defined his later career. Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz, calculus. Leibniz. Why pick that one? Why not Gottfried? Gottfried published his work on calculus first, but Newton claimed he had developed the method of fluxions years earlier. Newton used his position as president of the Royal Society to oversee a neutral report that ultimately branded Leibniz as a plagiarist. That's jeez. Why are you taking all of the wow I have for Isaac Newton away from me? Why? Why, Dan? What did he do, bro? Apparently he stole inverse square law too. Hooke insisted that Newton stole the idea for the inverse square law of gravity from their private correspondences. While Hooke provided the intuitive concept, Newton provided the rigorous mathematical proof in his Principia. And then John Flamsteed, star data. In a more literal sense, Newton and Edmund Halley published Flamsteed's preliminary star catalog data without his permission. Flamsteed was so outraged, he later bought and then burned as many copies of his stolen book as he could find. Guess I can't challenge you on that one. But did you see how I wasn't challenging you before I knew the facts? And now I do. He still lived to 84. He still lived to 84, though. I stopped her. I have a challenge. Can you spell my name correctly? It's Madhav. Did I say it correctly? I hope so. Does it spell Madhav? Yeah. Conscious revolution. Sounds good. Nice. Oh, I'll give you a little... I'll give you one of them. Imagine bathing in hummus. Close your eyes and feel the hummus. Stop. How about I stop imagining bathing in hummus? I'll bathe in... There is actually something. I would like to bathe in pure coconut oil. I would like that. Yeah, I can imagine. I think it would be expensive. I think it was like $11 for... It's half a gallon. Right. And you need like what? 70 gallons to fill a bath. One day, I'll spend $300, $500 bathing in coconut oil. I probably wouldn't do that. But I can imagine, yes. Yes, Hinduism is very, very, very vast. I mean, it's too much to understand and it's way too complex and complicated. There are so many rumors about the words about Hinduism and it hurts us a lot. You see what I mean? That's what I was talking about. That's what I was thinking. I was like thinking how, like, being in that society, growing up with that informational system, and now we have a friend who grew up in that informational system, and they share with us how it's a lot. It's maybe too much, and it hurts the cohesiveness of the message because there's so many different avenues that can be explored. Right? I personally have gravitated towards like Shiva, for example, in Hinduism. Right? That's the entity that I see myself in. And I think maybe there's something about the Indian culture that has that attachment or quality to your philosophy, right? Like it's a projection of self, all of it, everything in that way is a projection of the self. And depending on which parts of that self you identify with the most begets the part of the religion that you kind of like obsess over or become fixated on. I would like to suggest you one this. Try to minimize your words of any question asked over here. Very often you exceed your words like a philosopher, more than a necessity. Padav, there is no complexity in Hinduism. It is complex for non-Hindu people. Why do you say that? There you go. Question asked. Why do you say that? You don't consider it complex? Do you consider yourself a Hindu practitioner, friend? Darren is here with us too. Hey, Darren. I don't care if Newton is guilty of thievery, Mel. I know his heart, and it's the heart of a thief. Newton is a thief and a coward. Case closed. Aha. I'm a thief of heart. That's cute. If I have to choose a Newton, then I'll choose a fig, not Isaac. Fig Newton. It just started. 14 minutes. I can feel it. My skin is not reacting yet, but I think the niacin, the vitamin vitamin B3 is starting to kick in. Isaac Newton doesn't even go to this school. Howdy, friend. Stop at the morning too, yes. Love is true. Thank you, Xiao, for joining us here too. Because I care about you, Melt, Dan says. I won't let Newton fool you into liking him. He's wicked. He's a wicked, wicked man. Feld. Good. Thank you for joining us too. Yeah, good. Yep. 84 long years of Mercury eating and stealing and cowardice. The one who laughs. I'm sure Isaac Newton loves this. He's like, they're talking about me. See if I care. I can feel it. It's starting to happen. My skin is getting goosebumps. Conscious evolution. More like conscious revolution. Hey, Gobs. I was thinking about you this morning during yoga. I was like in my Shavasana, and I was thinking about you friends and about our stream space. And I just had this whole thought about how Gabadiku shares like Gabish with our stream every day, when he's here at least. And how that is something that's been a long time coming. We've been talking Gabish to each other since I can remember, literally. Love you, Gavity Goobity Doo. I'm feeling good. I boofed my daily swagger this morning. Yes. I just had to like unthird eye myself. That image. I realize. Starts speaking garbage. Speaking garbage in tongues. I love you, Joe Bizzlebot. Gab, I just DM'd you on Discord, so you didn't miss my hummus comment. I don't think his wife would agree with that. Somebody shared some wacky stuff. Or Isaac Newton's wife. There are literally more than 200 books to read if you want to understand the basics of Hinduism. The more you try to understand, the more complex it gets. I think I'm on your side on this, Madhav. Madhav. I hope I'm saying it correctly. It is very complicated. I know like slivers. I know like slivers of Hindu philosophy. And even that is vast, right? Even the little bits that I know is a lot. So I can't even imagine growing up and being immersed in that culture your whole life. Hindu. With a U, but sure. Maybe you should go and Hindu something with your time, Feld. Are you new here? You're only sharing like single word comments. If you're new here, welcome. It's nice having your acquaintance and sharing in your presence. I believe in. Is that you, PD? PD sneaking in on us. Maybe one of his other alt accounts. I believe in nothing. I believe in nothing. I live in the felt fact of my immediate experience. What is there to believe? Believe what? Believe for who? All right? Don't believe. Live. Believe? Living? Right? Mom, I love chicken farm. Chicken farm is the best. Quantum science. What kind of plants do you have in the background? We got plenty plant, and then plenty is planto, and then plantaya plantanians, and then plantaria plantanium, and then plantificus plantaria plant, and then the one all the way up top is Galathea. But it's the only one with a name on it, so that's why I had to go and check. Plantius Galatheas. Yep, that's its name. There's a bunch here. There is a bunch. Apparently we have to repot them soon. You like that? I'm happy that you're lolling at me. That you're not just, fuck this guy, I'm gonna leave now. I'm not the best with plant names. TBH. To be completely and authentically honest, this is my wife's doing. And I just support her. I'm like, yeah, wife. Yeah, wife. Plants. Yeah, wife. Yeah, parrots. Yeah, wife. Yeah, dog. Yeah, I do know. I don't know what that dog is. Schnauzer poodle or something. I know he's ugly. Oh, I'm sorry for being mean. You don't know me, dog. I'm trying to be nice, I promise. If you understand, if you want to understand the basics, yeah, 200 books. Read these 200 books, and then you might have a rudimentary understanding of the basics, right? And then these other 2,000 books will give you the context that you were missing on the first 200 books, and then these other 200,000 books will give you the nuance of the added context that you missed reading the first 200. Where would you suggest the person starts if they know nothing and want to have a full understanding? I think a good one, if you want to read a Hindu text, is the Bhagavad Gita, right? Like that's a good place to start. I was thinking about Gobs in yesterday's evening yoga. There we go. I think me too, actually. I don't mean to hurt anyone's feelings, but bro, it's not about Hinduism. It's about understanding Sanatan Dharma. It's a lot, bro. I mean, I'm trying to understand the depth of Hinduism from the past 2 years. You're not hurting any of our feelings, right? I'm not attached or even certain. I have no certainty whatsoever about that informational system. And yesterday, I just had like a moment of considering the fact that I don't know, and how if I had grown up in a different space, maybe I would know the things that I now feel I don't know. And to hear your take on, even if you are there and you are exposed your whole life, you still don't actually know, or at least you aren't guaranteed any knowledge or knowing just because of your exposure. I think you're making it more interesting, even. No feelings hurt here. When God makes chicken parm, it's called chicken flour. What kind of plants? Good ones. Quantum science, chicken flour. I believe in the power of rejecting science. And Isaac Newton. Liberate yourselves. Viva la gara. I have an eggplant to harvest. Maybe I'll make eggplant flour. Let us know how that is. Nice. You grow. All of us are growing here together. You know about Lord Shiva. I don't know. Would this be triggering if I told you I am a reincarnation of Lord Shiva? Is that triggering? I'm actually curious, right? I've never said, no, I have said it to one of my Indian friends. He didn't seem like he was triggered by it. He seemed like he went like, that's what he did. He was like, okay, kind of, okay, all right. Why do you say that? And I told him basically about my personal identification with dance. How when I started dancing, it felt to me not only like just the act of dance itself, but it felt like the act of destruction and creation, right? Like I was doing something primordial. I think there's probably a bunch of incarnations. I don't think we stop. But I also think that this timeline is going to be the timeline where we get to live long enough to again become history. Let's say it like that, right? Like unironically, tell me, what do you think when you hear those words? There's a calathea, a philodendron from Brazil, a variegated pothos, a spider plant, and 2 many-inch plants. There we go. Thank you, Xiao, for giving us a little list of the plants that you've got here next to us. Dangab, harvesting already. I haven't even got mine outside yet. I think Gobbledygoo does live in Texas, so it's probably already sunny and hot there. Melt, if you had to choose, would you bathe in hummus or red pepper hummus, and why? Well, I enjoy red pepper hummus more for eating, but I'd probably bathe in just hummus because having the spices on all of me probably would not be advisable. You know what I mean? Probably not. Probably more too with wife. Yeah. I got a wife even. Breaking. I got a wife, dude. I'm surprised as well. You know, it's kind of new. I've had a wife for I don't have time on this. This thing is still counting down. I've had a wife for a total of 17 days. You know, it's been an adjustment. The cold is gay. Regular hummus, do I get unlimited pita too? Red pepper, Darren says it's good for you. I enjoy the red pepper hummus, actually, like genuinely. What am I supposed to be doing with red pepper to make it not taste like a mushy piece of ass? You cook with it, I think. That's the best one. You cook it until it's just integrated into the rest of your food. The best, Joe. So many vitamins. It's cold and gray. Oh, Feld, where do you live, friend? It's not cold outside right now, but it's not gray. It's kind of bluish. People are mowing them lawns. I mowed my lawn, our lawn, yesterday too. But this is some sort of activation. Like when I hear other people mowing lawn, I'm like, I have to go check my lawn. My lawn is also mowed, right? Checks it again. I even used the weed eater, right? I even like trimmed. I even like made sure our lines are like nice and trimmed up. I was like, yeah. I'm proud to be an American. That's exactly how it went yesterday. I even wore a shirt with the American flag on it every time, and I do it intentionally. I have a shirt that's like UV protective. It's a fishing shirt that was gifted to me by one of Joe's friends, and is it called hook or anglers? It's basically a fishing shirt with a big old hook as a part of the logo. And then on the back of it, there is a big American flag and then two dudes on a boat fishing with the American flag backing them, right? And that's the shirt I wear every time I cut the grass. I feel into it. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna have an American experience. Yeah, I'm gonna cut my grass. Yeah, I'm gonna trim up my hedgems. Yeah, yeah. Just a dash of ghost pepper, not sure white red pepper. Got the tail end of flavor. Fuck no, Darren. Mudgov, glad you were here. You piqued curiosity. It's true. Think he's probably moved on. Wait a second. Did I see that message? He said, yeah, I mean, you know, ACC. To Hinduism, your soul has become Brahma, one of the god. In Hinduism, millions of the times and trillions of ages, you and I and everyone in this world has played their role as Brahma in a past life. There we go. Yeah, exactly. Exactly what our Hindu friend said. I do believe this, right? That with the infinity that is infinity, you, where Brahma is like the big one, it's like the big boss, right? I don't want to be big boss. I like being Shiva. Or at least maybe I was Shiva before. I like really resonate with Shiva's story, his arc, right? He would just like go and live, go and like splash around on the bone heaps, right, where people got cremated. He would just go splash around, rub human ashes over himself and stuff, you know. Would show up like that in loincloths to parties. Just to fuck with them. Be like, oh yeah, everyone in your fancy clothing, look at me. Max confidence. Covered in human ashes and a loincloth. Right? I'm like, fuck yeah. Yeah, fucking, yeah. I get it. I totally get it. Okay, back to it. Start with brain freezes. If you can get past, then you can handle the ghost. He is faster than teachers, but you look like a boss, sir. Dang. Super thanks, that's cool. One day, I will be a boss. Right now, I'm still in my deliberation arc. Yes. I'm being like a Shark Tank, but to myself and my own ideas. Like, I don't know if I will be investing in that idea. I say to myself, coming with new ideas once again. You ever do that to yourself, where you're like, yeah, I could do this. This is something I could do. Part of me feels like I should skill myself to know how to work with electricity, right? You know what? I'm gonna start actually. Bro, you disrespecting or something? Just don't do that to any religious sentiments. No! I was like very much not trying to disrespect. Genuinely, seriously, no disrespect intended. I am a certified yoga teacher, right? And again, my yoga poses, so many of them, like my final pose, I end in Shavasana. I literally end every single yoga practice that I do in Shavasana, right? And that's the one pose that I can actually relax in, right? The death pose. After Shiva has been defeated by Kali, right? Her stepping on my chest in her fiery anger, right? A lot of respect in my heart for her. However, when I say certain things, because I'm not in that direct culture, for example, if I had to say to someone in the Christian community, I am the reincarnation of Jesus, they don't like that. They really don't like that when you say that. And I was wondering, from a place of curiosity, if it's the same talking about Shiva, right? And maybe you can tell me, right? Is it disrespecting to you when you hear that information? Do you feel disrespected? That's where I'm coming from. Sucks that you live in such a dry part of the world that you get this thirsty over a stranger on the internet. Well, flicks hair. Thanks. Or something. I appreciate. Now take a sip of water. Drink enough water. Water is good for you, actually. Get yourself hydrated. Bro, I was complimenting him. What did I do? You must have complimented me too hard. Your compliment must have had too much thirst attached to it. But thanks. I do appreciate it. Unironically, my study. Thank you. Thank you for your love. Words. Just words alone is all I need to defeat the great red dragon. That's pretty cool. Who is your great red dragon? And are you actively in the process of fighting? Are you close to defeating them? Let us know. And you know, our human soul is considered as the superior one, even more powerful than the gods. They wish to take reincarnation as humans, but they are also not allowed to do so. Only the two major supreme gods are allowed: Shiva and Vishnu. That gives me even more credence. Yeah. Shiva gets to be human? Why? Curious. We fighting every day. We are fighting every day as a species, this is true. But we can allow ourselves some calm. I wonder if it's happening yet. It's supposed to start happening. I can feel it kind of like into my body. I'm gonna be back in a second. There we go. I have returned water to the universe. And I will now return to my stream momentarily. So let me wash my hands quickly. If you friends were wondering what I was talking about just before I turned my microphone off when it comes to the effects taking hold, I, at the start of stream, or at least 34 minutes ago, took my vitamins. And amongst them is niacin. And niacin usually gets my blood, it feels like it heats my blood up, but technically it just pushes my blood out to the extremities, to the extremes at the edges of my body. Alongside it I took some methylene blue, and I think that also has something to do with it. I wonder if my body processes the niacin better with the methylene blue, because I'm pretty sure I think that might be it. I'm pretty sure yesterday I had most of my caffeine alongside it, which might have sped it up to the point where I had the reaction that I had. I'm not seeing the same reaction happening today, which is interesting as an experiment. Let me see some more. Go sit in the big bird chair and think about why you're nasty. Weaponized speech. I mean, he does call himself weaponized speech, bringing an interesting set of beads into chat. I have not been seeing the troll comments at all as of late, actually. Can I see them here? Alright. I'm not seeing like I'm missing anything. Fighting, go and sit, weaponized speech. Okay, back. And even they are not allowed to interrupt in human life. Like Lord Vishnu has taken birth as a human 9 times, but he also have to live his whole painful life. Even Vishnu can't run from his responsibilities as a human. It's pretty cool as a consideration, right? But only a few of them are allowed to become incarnated, right? And even if you do become incarnated, That doesn't mean just because you're like a all-powerful God in your God form that you can just kind of like opt out, be like, okay, I've had enough. I've had enough growing. I'll have being God again. It's like no. Not so easy. Oh, you're gonna have to continue your human life. Experience, grow, suffer a little bit even. Come back, learn, grow, suffer more. Usually do double dose of niacin. Think I'm just used to it now. I think I might be getting used to it too. I'm like 40 minutes in, and I'm not getting the reaction that I thought I would today. Yesterday it affected me way differently. And it was very curious to me to notice my skin reveal what was happening internally. Maybe the processing is delayed. Even Lord Vishnu has to face the consequences of his doing, even though he defeated evil, but still he has to face karma every time. Melt, it was vulgar, even by my standards, so they got removed. I accept. I accept. Love is true. Giving me a compliment with vulgarity. It's like, yeah. Put your calf muscle on my face or something. How old are you? Tell me first how old you think I am. How old do you think I am? Aditya? Aditya? Aditya. I don't know if I'm saying your name correctly. Aditya this side. Add Itya this side. 21. You think I'm 21? Big booms. Boom, boom, boom. Melt, big booms are no longer hip. That's why I'm saying it now. I know. 21. I am. According to my Whoop stats, I'm 21. I'm actually 20.7. So I'm not even 21 yet, according to my Whoop stats. But I am on my way to turning 28. In 7 days, I will be 28 years old. Bro is so chill. I try to be. Take big long breaths, practice yoga, sleep enough, and then skiz yourself. Yes, let's see what happens if I give myself 600% niacin. Yes, see what happens. Let's see what happens if I give myself magnesium. See what happens. Magnesium does actually make me feel a little bit more snappy, and it makes my lower back relax. All right, I can put my legs behind my head, laying down when I take magnesium. And as soon as I stop, I tighten up again. I become calcified. I get stuck inside my own body. You are my favorite unemployed streamer, sir. For real. Hello from Germany. Nice. Thank you. I appreciate you joining me. I am, at this point in my history, completely unemployed. I actually had a whole moment yesterday, thinking about that exactly, where I was kind of reflecting on the last 5 years of my life and how I have been giving everything, right? I've been making this space my number one priority, right? And I wouldn't let this space go. Back home, back in South Africa, my streams were happening around 3:30 and 4 p.m., which is still very much in my workday or in the traditional world's workday. So I still did apply for jobs back home, but none of them ever came through. None of them even had the decency to send me a message about not accepting my job offer or not being interested, kind of thing. Right? And it did feel, at least to me, like the universe had a plan. Like it was supposed to be that way. Because if I did get distracted with, working a traditional job back in that side, I might not have been here today in this way. However, now that I am here on the American side, and my streams are happening so much more early in the mornings, I might have the room, right, in a day to go and find a gainful employment, right? I really do hope that it makes this space better. I hope that it brings me stories and experiences and freedom in many ways, right? Hopefully I'll be able to buy myself a car. Hopefully I'll be able to afford driving in places, right? Those are the two things that I would like to be able to manifest for myself in the next year. Next year, this time, I'll have a car and I'll be able to, when I want to, drive to a place, drive to you friends. There's many of you friends that I still want to see, and it is going to take me some time before I can really get there, especially with gas prices just becoming like 120% more expensive since I got here. Where it's like, really? Really, universe? It's like, come on. Oh, why are you like this? Oh, like, I just got here. I just got here. I'm starting to try and build a life, and I'm like getting with it. I'm getting with the whole, giving my soul, trading my time for resources. I'm getting with it, and then the universe is like, oh yeah, how about even if you get resources, everything is going to be twice as expensive. You look happy and fresh, sir. Thank you, Mert. I do try and take good care of myself as much as I can. How are you so consistent for 1,900 days? How? Yes. I don't know how. I've made a decision, right? One of my favorite definitions of the word commitment is that a commitment is a deliberate decision that something will be so. Right? And when I started my live streams, I set the intention at first to do it every single day for 1 year. Where I was like, surely if I do it for 1 year and I completely detach myself from the need to earn an income for this year, then surely I will have given of myself in a way where I can feel righteous, right? Like I've done something good. Like I've done something that was the right path for my soul, for my purpose. And then upon finishing that first year, it became clear to me that that was my purpose. My desire to create, to give of myself to the world. And then I just kept going. I didn't stop the first year, and I haven't stopped until now. And I don't plan on stopping ever with the live streams, at the very least. I might not be able to do a whole hour-long live stream, but I will. I absolutely will do a live stream every single day, forever. Forever and ever. And then I plan, on top of that promise to forever live stream, to live for thousands of years. All right? I'm going to try. At least 1,000 years. Right? 1,000 years is like my entry. All right? If I hit 1,000, I'll be like, okay, guess I don't have to be a ghost. If I don't get 1,000 years, I'm 100% coming back as a ghost. I'm going to be ghosting all the time. However, 1,000+ days, 1,000+ years, happy. And I look forward to streaming with you friends for those thousands of years, right? I can feel some of you friends being like, oh, he's joking, isn't he? No. No joke. Just having made the deliberate decision for something to be so. Bro got some really expressive facial expressions. Yes. My face is loud. This I've been told. At least, you'll always know where you're at with me. All right? You'll do something and I'll go, and you'll be like, oh, I don't think Melt likes that. You'll do something and I'll go, and you'll be like, I think Melt likes that thing that I did. And I can say nothing. Sometimes I do say nothing. Sometimes I'll just go, are you doing that right now? Are you gonna do it? You stop doing that? They're trying so hard to outgross themselves. Do that in private. Yeah, exactly. Love is true. How are you so consistent 1,900 days? Having made the deliberate decision that something will be so. I have made a commitment to this community to keep showing up day after day. Right? It is something I take a great pride in. Great pride. Today's stream topic is about how thoughts lead to words, leads to actions. And this is the part of me I thought extensively. Literally for 2 months, I thought about what can I do? What can I do? What am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to do it? And then I did a few RPAN streams back in the day, and I felt such a sense of being home doing that, right? I felt so welcomed in my own skin to just be as I am, to be appreciated as I am, kind of thing. And then I used the words to say to the community, all right, that I'll do this every day for a year. And then I started the action path in making that so, all right? And now it has definitely become a great deal of my identity in that way as well. And I feel like the reason it's a part of my identity is because it's aligned with the highest self, right? The highest self shows up every single day. Every single day, the highest self continues to show up for you. So I am showing up as that highest self for myself as well. With you, friends. This is a healthy choice, sir. I want to become unemployed next month. And I want to start with streaming also. Maybe start with streaming and then become unemployed later, right? See if you enjoy it. See if it brings you satisfaction. You don't have to stream for 9 hours a day, right? Start with 10 minutes a day. Start with 30 minutes a day, Mert. See how you like it. See how you find yourself in the groove of that conversation. It is hard not having a community to start with, right? Because who are you going to talk to? But show up with his topic, right? That's what I try to do. That if nobody is going to say anything, I can fall back on the things that I intended to say, kind of thing. He lost his family, his loved ones, has to live a painful life in a forest of no mercy for 14 years. He saw his whole generation dying in front of his life, in front of his eyes, and you can imagine how painful that would be. Some of the Hindu stories, you're absolutely right. You look healthy and fresh, sir. You were handsome too, bro. I'm kind of fascinated. Appreciate you, friends. Thank you for all of your love. Thank you, Aditya, for calling me handsome. There is no way that he can't save himself, but he didn't. There is no way he can't save himself, but he didn't. To fulfill his promises and responsibilities, even his reincarnation have to face a very painful death. One even died, Krishna, because he got hit by an arrow. And the interesting thing is he got killed by a person which he defeated in his past life, but by cheating. Cheating for dharma is also dharma. This is really cool. These stories are so vast. Getting killed by someone you killed in your past. Dharma and something. I'm getting in a kind of late today. What's up, friend? What's the topic? Today's topic has been almost, like now that I have hindsight, aligning your highest self or aligning your current self with your highest self. And doing so in all of the different metrics that it comes within, right? Your thoughts is the inner world, right? And you can align your thoughts. Then your thoughts beget the information that you choose to share as words. And then depending on what you choose to say as words, manifesting an action plan, you can take that action, right? You can do the things that you have said that you will do, that you have thought about doing. Joe mentioned that you can go straight from thinking to doing as well. Have I seen you on the Monk Life channel? Maybe. It could be. Could be a cool synchronicity if you're joining us here from Bante's streams as well. So yeah, that's essentially the gist of it, is realizing that you should align yourself as thoughts, words, and actions to your highest self. That version of you that always shows up, right? That is untouched by worldly experiences as a thing. And then the almost like overarching / underlying message of that is that you aren't your thoughts, your words, or your actions. You aren't that, right? You are the energy that those things are aligned with. And you can sometimes be out of alignment with, right? in your words, in your thoughts, and in your actions. And it's very easy for us to consider ourselves bad people because we fall out of alignment. But that's not who you are. You are still that highest self. The reason you can feel bad in the first place is because there is a higher perspective in your whole, right? And that's what we're trying to lift ourselves up towards. Maybe one day our thoughts, our words, and our actions will be so completely in alignment that we won't have to say a single word. Steve Buscemi. It's Steve Buscemi! Hey, Steve. It's nice having you here, friend. Welcome. Welcome indeed. I'd love to have your perspective. Thank you for sharing. Genuinely. It really is a pleasure. If I would be living with this guy, I would be dead of happiness. That's cute. Love is true. I mean, he didn't cheat, but he did kind of cheat. And he got cursed by God that he will have to face karma. Sometimes that's happening, right? Sometimes you have to pay up for your misplaced thought, word, or action. He'll see your comments, it's true. Why are you pointing out? Well, why are you pointing out me? He ain't. I've been reading your comments, even if you send them twice. Hairball? I do have a ball of hair on my head. You bogey. True. Hey, friend. I hope you're doing well, too. Hello, Steve. I love your smile. In my opinion, Darren says, while you're driving, if you let someone else affect your driving, you're not a good driver. You see. Something. I'm trying to attach this driving analogy to the highest self kind of thinking as well. Mojo is here. You have to know your higher self to align with it. Not everyone is acquainted. You! I'm getting goosebumps. Is it goosebumping me? I got like 50% goosebumps with that, Mojo. That's a good one, bro. Not everyone is acquainted with their highest self. Yeah, unfortunately not. Right? The word Christ consciousness is one that's very sensitive in many minds. Christ consciousness to me is when physical embodiment embraces the consciousness that is the everything, right? God. When physical embodiment embraces the consciousness of God, that's when you are in a state of Christ consciousness, right? When you're in your state of your highest self, when you stop becoming identified with your thoughts, your words, and your actions, and you start becoming identified with the everything as it is, the lack of separation that you acknowledge in this whole of it. And it's not always as easy to just come to that conclusion, unfortunately, right? Because we have to eat food that convinces us otherwise. We have to do things, cut the grass. We have to wash our bodies. We have to brush our teeth. There's so many of these external things that we do to this form just to maintain it, right? That we can get so caught up in this process that we can't see the overarching experiencer, right? Almost like the experiencer is just going on a ride. Just going on a ride with this thing as it thoughts, words, and actions. Versus being that awareness. Seeing it as a lens through which thoughts, words, and actions becomes projected into this reality. I appreciate you, friends, for actively being in pursuit of and learning how to become more acquainted with your highest self. I am still curious about Darren's comment about if you're driving and you let someone else affect your driving, then you're not a good driver. And in the highest self perspective, the highest self is the one that knows where it is you're going, right? That I can know positionally exactly where it is I'm going. And then I can drive, right? I can think, oh, I want to go there. I say to maybe my friend, I'm going to go here. And then I get in the car and I drive, right? Towards that place. However, you aren't necessarily a driver, right? You aren't necessarily someone who just talks about driving. You aren't someone who thinks about being in places. You're capable of all of those things, but it's not who you are on a fundamental level. And then to think about it from the observer, already seeing in mind's eye this place towards which you're going, there's many ways to get there. All right? Technically, you could call up a helicopter and it can airlift you to the place that you're going. All right? Would be a little bit expensive, sure, but that's another way to get to where it is you're going. All right? And that highest self is positionally existing. Lone Buffalo, no dancing today. We usually dance on Wednesdays. Wednesdays are the days on which we dance. Where are you from? I'm from South Africa. It's het Afrikaanse Sinki. Burki, actually, as they like to say. Very powerful, but it's possible. I love it. I love you too, friend. Pedro, I hope you're doing well. It's nice to have you here with us. There we go. Aditya says, well, I'm Indian, and it's an Indian god name that means sun or enlightenment. That's beautiful. Aditya, is that correct? I try to align with my higher self every time I touch the weed mojo. I don't think I've quite aligned yet, so clearly I need more. Or maybe we need less. I don't want to hear that, Melt. Hey, I wasn't saying I'm going to say something you want to hear. I'm just saying what might need to be heard in this moment. All right. I've been thinking that I might need a little bit less. I think I'm going to probably have a lot less as soon as I get really into the work fractal. I still do think I should skill myself into the electric world. If I want to be a technomancer, I do need to be a good one, right? Even with the things that I don't ever want to do, I should still be able to, you know? And I think I might have to do less in order to do more in that way. And I'm willing to. Do you know, according to Hinduism, it doesn't matter if you believe in God or if you're an atheist, you will go to heaven and hell according to your actions, and that you take in your life as a normal human. I do know that, right? And it's something that I align with more than the traditional way of seeing the religious path. I still feel like it's a little bit iffy with the fact that there is polarity, right? It creates this sense of separation where I don't believe in separation in the ultimate sense. I just think about it from a perspective of continuation, right? That if you're gonna go to hell, you're gonna have hell until you've grown in the ways that hell will let you grow as a soul, and then you will ascend back to heaven, and then you'll be in heaven and you'll learn all the things you have to learn in heaven, and then you'll descend maybe back to humanhood, and then you'll live your human life having gained all of that perspective, and then you'll think things, say words, take action, and then you'll maybe go to hell, maybe go to heaven again, right? But it is this continuation. It's not linear. It's this whoop-de-whoop-de, forever flowing. And apparently, in the whole Buddhist perspective, we're trying to escape the wheel, right? Trying to escape the wheel of incarnation and like to be liberated from it. Where I don't know, I haven't personally connected with that message, right? Personally, to the way where it makes sense to me. Because what are you liberated from? Like, yeah, you're getting liberated from reincarnation, but you're also getting liberated from kindness. You're also getting liberated from friendship, from the joy of eating a delicious meal, from the feeling of hot water on your skin in the shower, from the coolness of a body of water on a hot day. Like, you're liberating yourself from all of those things as well. And I don't know that I'm going to be liberated from enough bad to justify all the good that I'll lose. Right? Maybe that's just me being stuck in the loop. Maybe that's the Buddhist being like, yeah, you see, you're still grinding, right? It's like grinding a game character when I'm actually the one observing the play. I don't know if there's any action in that. I think that's maybe where the ego comes in. The ego likes taking action. Do not be satisfied with stories, how things have gone with others. Unfold your own myth. Rumi. Yeah, this is some good Rumi stuff. I feel like we might as well start off with a quote today, right? It's a good one as well. A healthy self will heal thyself. Know thyself, says Xiao. That's a good one, Combat. Darren says, Madhav says, and there are 7 types of hell and 7 types of heaven and a further 3 types of superior heaven where loser Vishnu stayed in his human form and even the gods are not allowed to go there without permission. I like that too, right? I imagine there's probably more than 7. I think that there is an infinite amount of heavens because there's going to be an infinite amount of people, an infinite amount of souls to have an infinite amount of perspectives of what heaven to that soul might be. And heaven, I think, is probably shaped by the experience that it had before it, right? If you came from a metaphorical hell of a life, just not having to suffer having a body could be heaven, right? If you've had a life filled with joy and with pleasure and exuberance, maybe just the stillness of nothing could be the experience that you would like to have. Hey, HK and P7 fan, I hope that you're doing well today, friend. That you're going to go and be good to the people you have in your life, that you're going to find kindness in your heart. Hope you have a beautiful day, friend. Thank you for your presence in this space as well. Hope that you have a good day. Joe, that makes me think of something Melt and I talked about on the phone the other day. How showing up with love first puts one on the self-corrective curve. There it is. Yeah, I did actually paraphrase that quote that you said to me to Joe as well, actually, Sam. So you saying it again. Yeah. Showing up for love every day puts us on a self-corrective curve. It doesn't mean we're done. It doesn't mean like the work is finished. It just means that we're on the right path, walking towards the tip of the mountain. Right? So we may, share our views. I love it. Love is true, very powerful, but it's possible. South Africa? Yeah. Lone Buffalo, that's right. South Africa. I was talking about being on a golf course, driving. JK, I was definitely putting it as a metaphor. I feel you. I'm not really big into karma, but I do think that what it's talking about does manifest in a way. You ain't gotta do all of that, though. Noodle had his feet shaved yesterday, so he's not licking himself anymore. But he does look funny with his little shavedy feetsies. Karma has been so oversimplified by Western terms. It's because something else in the Western world. It's become something else in the Western world from what it was originally, from what it originated. It's true what Joe says. I think the problem is that even just in the translation of these sacred texts, right? Taking something from Hebrew to English, taking something from Sanskrit to English, so much is lost in translation, right? That it's almost impossible for you to extract the original wisdom that was there, right? While at the same time, I believe that original wisdom exists in your heart, right? Without needing to learn it. It exists. Stop. Looking at me like, what do I do? You can be all you want. Just please don't lick yourself in front of me. You can lick yourself over there, but just not where I can see you, dude. Please. Please, for the sake of my karmas. Karma, your brain holds the responsibility. No unbaking the pie. The pie is dance. That's a good one. Cause and effect is shaped by intention. Actions, thoughts, and choices influence future experience and consciousness. Action precedes thought. Thought precedes energy. Energy is cultivated. What is it that you bring into your world? Are you happy? Are you happy with what you have brought into your world? Right? I'm thinking about some of the friends that joined this space just to say something that is going to maybe get a rise out of me as a person, right? And I'm thinking about what it is they're adding to their world, right? Like you, whether you believe it or not, in sharing negativity, are adding more negativity to your own experience first. I think I have like turned the page in my own mind with the negativity in chat from potential friends not yet realized, and I'm going to start just being like really nice to them, extra kind as I can be, because I really do think that they are adding so much bad to their own experience that if I can add just a sliver of good, even if they don't deserve it, especially when they don't deserve it, I will do so. We are always here for polite discourse. What we aren't here is for insulting people on differing faiths. We are all precisely where we're intended to be. This is one of my favorite quotes to like really think about. And I'm not gonna quote someone, but I'm gonna share an idea. Every single one of us are on the path towards our own personal enlightenment. Every single one of us. What that enlightenment looks like. Enlightenment to me is when you realize you are as light coming from a source, right? Like a photon from the sun. When you realize you are that is enlightenment. And some people, it takes their whole lives. Some people have to die in order to realize that they are that light emanating from our collective source, right? And again, every single person's journey towards enlightenment is their own. Everyone is going there. Whether you are the most evil person on earth or the most sainted person on earth, that is your journey towards enlightenment, right? And depending on which religious text you engage with, depending on what practices you participate within, all of that is going to shape your immediate experience, right? You're going to get to live a life shaped by those thoughts, words, and actions. But the end goal is the same thing, right? And in that way, it doesn't help to try and get another person to follow your path because it's yours, right? It's like asking me to put on your shoes. It's like, sure, I guess I could wear your shoes, but what shoes are you gonna wear, right? Are you gonna be comfortable climbing the rocks if I'm wearing your shoes? I don't know these rocks, but thanks for giving me your shoes so I don't have to step in them, right? Maybe you can be extra careful on the way up the mountain. Letting other people have their journey towards enlightenment. I think that's where I gained a lot of compassion from my dad, right? We had a day of catching lions together on the farm one time, right? And that day, I gained a lot of peace in my heart for how I want things to go, right? Instead of believing for a second that I know, I allowed myself to let him have what he has. All right. It's like the amount of time it has taken me to cultivate what I believe in my heart has taken him even more time, right? And I have no authority in that way to tell him that he's right or wrong. What I do have the authority over is my own perspective on reality, right? And again, having the perspective that everyone is trying their best, everyone is on their way towards enlightenment, towards unity, if we want to use that word, has made it a lot more palatable for me to see another person's journey in a way where I reserve my judgment. I sub to you. Thank you, friend. Not loser Vishnu. Lord Vishnu. Okay, that made more sense. When I saw you say loser Vishnu, I was like, damn, bro. Vishnu was getting dogged. My bad. Lord Vishnu. I did just read the words as they were written, but yeah, it makes more sense you saying it in that way. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. The idea of hell just tickles me. It's such a ridiculous human invention, born from our deep need to see wrongdoers get retribution, because we just can't stand the idea of them getting away with it. Not only stand the idea of them getting away with it, but there is the added ego attachment that wants to consider ourselves good, right? That I am the good one, and because of how good I am, I deserve to go to heaven. However, they don't deserve to go to heaven because they weren't as good as me. And I would not want to be in a heaven where they are also, and add your ego attachments to what they did in the world, to that thing they said, to that way they see other people. And then ego details, ego details, ego details. When you die, all of that stuff falls away, right? All of the memories, all of the judgments, all of the duality consciousness, separation perspectives, all of that suddenly collapses away. And you are in that ultimate state of knowing again, of like, oh yeah, I am one with that asshole as well, right? And if you can truly and absorb and integrate that understanding of your oneness, you want everyone to go to heaven, right? Including the bad people, because their bad can be a consequence of the bad that they have experienced in their life as well, right? The perpetuating of something bad. And then the liberation of that bad can be a kind of heaven, right? Stop. Stop that. Stop doing that, dude. We shaved your feet for a reason. He's like chewing up. Like he used to like chew on his like hands. Now he's like, please. My poor eyeballs. Oh, and the sounds that come with it too. All right. Right. Liberating ourselves from our potential hell. Again, right? Like the dog, maybe we can like share it in that perspective, right? The dog, if he is in his heavenly body, wouldn't have itches, wouldn't have anything that needs to be scratched, right? And he would probably have different tools, right? He'd maybe be able to use his little soul arm to scratch his soul shoulder. Doesn't have to chew on it. What are you saying, Mel? I'm saying that the attachments we have in this physical world to memory, to information, to thoughts, words, and actions, right? All of that dissipates completely in the what comes next, right? And again, the whole hell idea. Hell is literally a place, was at least a place at one point in existence, like a garbage dump, right? A big pit of fire, literally, where they would throw their trash. You don't believe me? Hey Google, tell us about how the Bible's depiction of hell was actually a real place back in the day. You ready for this part? This is a really interesting quip, because again, it shows you so clearly that what we think of as hell is an ego attachment during that time that had a physical place, right? A literal physical place. The biblical concept of hell, often referred to as Gehenna, is a physical valley located just south of the old city of Jerusalem, historically known as the Valley of the Son of Hinnom. It served as a site for ancient pagan rituals and later became the city's primary refuse dump. To prevent disease and manage the massive amounts of waste, fires were kept burning perpetually, creating a landscape of constant smoke and flames. This vivid, localized imagery of an unquenchable fire was used by the New Testament figures as a potent metaphor for spiritual judgment and destruction. All right? Egos. Egos and their attachment to what they think is, right? Me as a human being having a flesh body, fire and smoke, bad for me, right? That must be what hell is. Near. Hell is separation. Hell is separating yourself from source, right? But again, it's only a positional separation. You're still in the same localized space. You're still one with that whole. Sorry, Holy Bible. I don't think there's any apologizing necessary. The truth doesn't need to be defended. That's one of my favorite quotes as well. The truth doesn't need to be defended. The truth just is. We're all capable of dehumanizing. Expressing that capability is easy, lazy, even shameful. Paradox. Lord Vishnu, I sub. Thank you, friend. I totally knew you meant Lord. I'm sorry. Thank you. Arajo, welcome to the awesomeness. By the way, we're here every morning. We show up every day, friend. We look forward to spending more time with you. I remember you say that Shiva was defeated by a goddess. It wasn't defeated. He let himself be defeated, right? In order for Kali to come to her senses. I don't think I'm supposed to say it like that. For her to realize that she was destroying what she loved, he had to put himself in harm's way, right? Defeated by the goddess that put her leg on his chest, but it's not the truth. I didn't say defeated, right? In that moment, he was in a state of defeat. However, he is depicted as happy in that state of defeat as well, right? Vulnerable before her to calm her down route. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. She almost stomped him down in her bloodlust and rage, and when she saw him at her feet, it disarmed her. Yeah, exactly. One of my most favorite stories. Yeah, you were absolutely correct. There we go. What's the time, bro? It's 8:21 night in my country. It's 10:54 for me right now. It's interesting how the hell is described in the Bible. It is interesting, isn't it? 10:51 a.m. here. That whole time you were talking about the place that used to be hell, I thought you were gonna say, we now know that place is Skid Row in Los Angeles. That's hilarious. Damn combat truth. Does Melt know of Skid Row? I've heard of Skid Row, but I don't know Skid Row kind of thing. All right. I am pleasantly surprised the Niacin didn't kick my ass today. I wonder if it was because of my increase in water or synergy with the blue. I haven't taken my creatine yet. That might also have something to do with it. It's pretty brutal, brother, out there, and it's like 50 blocks long now. Jeebies. Yep, love is true. I'm grateful for this world that we have that is safe. This space that we find ourselves within. Right? And I'm not talking about the world in general. I'm talking about this little sanctuary that is yourself. You know what I mean? You are here, dear friend. You are here. You are allowed a big, long breath. Close your eyes and allow yourself to remember that you are as a beam of light is to the sun. All of us share the same source, no matter what part of the world you find yourself in, no matter what color your skin, your gender, your sexual orientation. None of that can taint, can touch, can scratch, can influence the source of your being. All right? Pure light, pure love, pure unadulterated energy. And then as it flows through this being, it becomes filtered and manipulated and manifests in new and novel ways. He let himself be defeated, preceded by, I didn't say he was defeated. Again, right? Like if I am sparring with someone, right? And then I let them win, I let them pin me, right? I personally don't see that as a defeat, right? I see that as kind of like a victory of self. But yeah, again, this is stories, and it's our own personal interpretations of it. You kind of did just say that. I might have, but we align on the sentiment. Language is hard. Terminology is ultimately made up. Yeah, and these are stories as well, alongside the fact that these stories come from a language different than ours. We can create clarity, I guess. All right, we can do like something like this. Hey, Google, can you tell us about the story of Shiva and Kali, and how in Kali's rage, what did Shiva do? Let's just ask it like that. You know the world in which we live. We can also consider it as a minor hell, according to the Gita. You can also consider it as a minor heaven, all right, if you choose to adopt that perspective. Amelia Brand, hello, you. It's nice having you here again, friend. It's been a while since seeing your name here in this space with us. Welcome back. How are you doing, dear friend? Hope you're well. How are you? Octabriana? I'm good too. I'm feeling pretty present, feeling excited for the rest of the day, feeling hopeful. He wasn't defeated because his goal was to stop her. He succeeded in that. There we go. That was my perspective. I think we're aligned. The legend tells of the goddess Kali descending into a bloodthirsty frenzy after defeating the demon Rakatabiya. Her victory dance became so violent it threatened to destroy the entire universe. To save the world, Shiva threw himself beneath her feet, absorbing the impact of her dance to break her trance and restore balance. You have a girlfriend or boyfriend? I have a wife. But yeah, thank you for asking, Lara. I hope that you're doing well. Know that you're still loved in this space, even though I won't be able to give you any more than that. He wasn't defeated. Okay. The story explores the dynamic between primordial energy, Shakti, and pure consciousness, Shiva. The conflict, the demon, Raktabiya, could clone himself from every drop of blood that touched the ground. Kali defeated him by drinking his blood before it fell, but the act consumed her with an unquenchable battle lust. The sacrifice, Shiva realized that no force could stop her through combat, so he laid down on the battlefield like a corpse. The awakening. When Kali stepped on Shiva, she realized that she was trampling her own husband. This shock caused her to stick out her tongue in shame, a classic iconography pose, immediately ending her destructive rampage. One of my favorite stories, Kali, active energy, time, and the destruction of the ego. Shiva, stillness, the foundation of reality and infinite consciousness. The tongue, a gesture of laya, modesty or shame, or the cooling of fiery passion. The interaction demonstrates that power without grounding leads to chaos, while consciousness provides the space for energy to manifest safely. Damn. Cool stuff though. Very cool stuff. One of my favorites. Again, I really enjoy that perspective. Thank you. Yes, I'm doing great. Sometimes I take breaks from social media. No shame in that. In fact, good job, Amelia. This space, I hope, isn't social media in that way, right? Not the traditional social media of like one thing after another, right? Barely get to keep up with anything. Today we've been discussing thoughts, words, actions, right? And we've said many words about the thoughts that I have about Hindu kind of culture and our perspective on these deities, right? And again, it breaks down to consciousness and energy, right? There's the energy that flows through consciousness, and then there is the consciousness that is unchanged and infinite. What's of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2? Some people treat it as antisocial. Very much so, right? They self-isolate and then they stay alone, right? In this space, I feel is not that. Here we are very much together. Have a nice day, my friend, and everyone else. Thank you, Amelia. You can let us know what's been on your thoughts. What have you been saying to people? How has that shaped your actions? If you want to share a bit about your journey. There's this really good episode of Star Trek where Data challenges a master tactician to a game. The first one he plays to win and then gets his ass handed to him. The next time he aims for a stalemate and then wins. Perspective can shift a victory into failure if you can apply the right mind forms. Exactly. There we go. So much love in chat has been shared. What a blessing to have been here present with you, friends. You want to watch over my plans for a second? Make sure they don't go anywhere, right? Watch them very carefully. Sometimes they'll try and make a run for it. Social media goes to the birds. Yeah. I am very grateful to make use of this social platform in a way where it's not just media, but it is connection that we get. Energy into words and thoughts into action. Sometimes words don't align. Use them with care. It's true what she says. South Africa, huh? In South Africa. You have any questions for me, Lone? Moet ek begin Afrikaans praat? Gaan dit jou help om te glo ek is van Suid-Afrika af as ek die taal praat wat ek groot geword het en gepraat het met my ouers? Maak dit bietjie seker. What's going on over there, dude? Don't ask me, bro. I have tried to do everything that I could in my personal power to make the most of that side of the world. It is not easy. General state of affairs in English. Dude, start speaking in backwards. That's super funny. Buffalo. Make kazoo noises. He's taking a moment to play the kazoo. What's the name of the language in South Africa? And what is it based on? It's called Afrikaans. And it's a mix of a bunch of different languages. French influence, Dutch influence, German influence. Some, I think, Finnish and Polish influence as well. Pretty new language. Bro is obsessed with plants. Yes, this is true. I am, in fact, obsessed with plants. I like them a lot. But I'm obsessed in the way where I appreciate them with my eyeballs. I'm not obsessed in the way where I necessarily want to keep them all. I did do a lot of gardening as a child, but I didn't and haven't been doing as much as an adult. I could look it up, but I'd rather you tell me it's Afrikaans. Hey Google, what is the origin story of the language Afrikaans? Evolved in Dutch Cape Colony. It is a daughter language of Dutch, primarily. There is Dutch. Oh, it's just Dutch. Dutch is actually the #1 influence. However, there are different dialects where the South Hollandic dialects are spoken by the settlers from the Dutch East Indian Company. Then there's the multicultural contact. The language was simplified and incorporated words from Portuguese, Malay, and Bantu languages. And then there was a Khoisan influence as well, where direct interactions with the indigenous Khoisan people introduced unique photonic and lexical elements. And then over time, the complex Dutch grammar was streamlined, eliminating grammatical gender and simplifying verb conjugations to facilitate communication between these groups. Yeah, so Dutch is the primary one. Me and a Dutch person, if we both slow down and articulate really carefully what it is we're trying to say, and we can point and give context clues, we should be able to understand each other. I have had a conversation with a Dutch person before. It was in China, and we were both teachers standing in line to have our 3-month extensions put in our little passport books. It was a cool conversation. Love me so, leafy friends. You're always plans. I'm crude. Dude started speaking in backwards. It's probably one of the funniest things I've ever heard in a minute. It was actually very funny. I agree. Is this girl your fiance, bro? She is kind of speaking from her profile photo. Sam is one of our moderators, but Jobot Beep Boop is my wife, not my girlfriend. Is this girl your fiance? Yeah, not my wife. Used to be my fiance. Jobot Beep Boop, the black and white little profile picture. If you're looking for someone in chat, that's what happens. Longtime kazoo players like Willie Nelson probably have to exert effort to sound normal. Yeah, when I was learning Spanish and learning how it's a gender language, it was so confusing. I never really learned Spanish. I swapped out because it was too confusing. I'm happy that we don't have gender language as well in Afrikaans. Definitely think it makes it a little bit easier. Robot noises, Jobot Beep Boop. She makes robot noises all the time. It's a digital drawing I did in school, not seeking anything, just being. This is true. Love is true. It doesn't seem as confusing now, but the gender thing really throws me for a loop. That chair is a boy, but that shirt is a girl. Obviously, you know, look at how strong and firm that chair is, or whatever. What? Up, 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 up. Are you being a good girl? Huh? Dry Historian is here with us too. Hey, Dry. It's nice having you. I'll be back in a second. I'm gonna quickly go get a Burby. Are you a good Burby? Hello. Hello, Zoe Bird. You want out? Yeah? Of course I want out. Come on. Come on. Come on, Zoe. Come on. There you go. What a sweetie bird. Whoa. You want to go outside? It's freezing outside. It's not exactly freezing, but it's way cold though. You want outside? You're going to complain instantly, but I'll let you be cold a bit, okay? Just because you want that. This is what you want. Good girl. You did eat all of your veggies. Want some of this? Good girl. I'm literally just going to come in. I'm not even going to sit down because he's going to start screaming as soon as I'm back. It is actually kind of cool. Prairie Wolf is here with us too. Hey, Prairie. Thank you for joining us. The actual bar for effective communication is so low, you guys. Do you ever think about that? How you almost don't even need a spoken language if your gesticulation is on point. Yeah. Even you can like do all of that with eyebrows. You can be like, language is wild. I've asked some of my friends who speak Spanish They're like the third or fourth generation, but they still speak. But they can't explain it to me. What's the difference between fiance and wife? Fiance is when you have asked a woman to marry you, and she is now your betrothed. And wife is when you have done the deed. There he goes. When you have done the getting married, not done that deed. You've gotten married, you have made your promises, you've signed the paperwork. Are you going out? It's cold out here. It's cold. It's cold. Cold. It's cold. I bet that's so cold out here. Oh, jeez. Back inside. Back inside. We're back inside. Back inside. He's dancing here. Back inside. 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 Oh, back inside and back inside. Back inside. Oh, and I'm back. Back inside. Back inside. Back inside and back inside. Back inside. Back inside. Back and back inside. Back. Oh. You want to show the friends how happy you are for these cookies that's coming? We are back inside. Back inside. Back inside. Back. Now you're not dancing anymore. I'll give you these cookies, but you have to be happy and go back inside. Back inside. Back inside. Back inside. No, he's not dancing. You shy? Yeah. I'm shy. I'm shy. I'm shy. I'm gonna give you these cookies, but you have to be patient. Be patient. Say, can you dance? Dance. 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 Well, be good girl. Dance. 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 Don't bite me. I'd have your cookies right here, but I want you to dance. Ow. Nip my nose a little bit on that one. He speaks sometimes. Say hello. Hello. Good girl. And do you want to do a spin? Do a spin. Spin, spin, spin. Good girl. And then we do high five. High five. And then grabs onto my hand. Oh. Wow. Here's another one. You want to say bye-bye? Bye. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. There you go, Zoe. Good girl. All right, see you later. He was unironically dancing so much when we came back inside. He was like super stoked to be inside. You can't always capture all of the cool moments. Man, this device has 3% battery left in it. I did drop my brightness, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Commitment, good grief. Yeah, fiance is like, we could commit to each other, and then wife is like, we have committed to each other. Good morning. I keep signing in. Hello, everyone. It's nice having you. I worked at a casino for years. I will probably also work at a casino very soon. For years, potentially. How about that for synchronicity, friend? I think that goes, you can participate in a broken world while working to fix it. Yes. A certificate, that's also a difference, I guess, too. There are a surprising amount of people who can't or pretend not to be able to speak English. Yeah, I think the can't is more often than the pretend not to be able to speak. But it is interesting to think the Vesica Pisces of people that can speak English, people that can't speak English, and then the people that pretend they can't speak English. I wonder how big that sliver is and why. Why are you pretending to not be able to speak English? The rules of the games are strict and vary between each game. It is an interesting game of charades. Like, if dinner is done and I don't even use the words, I just make caveman noises from the other room. He knows what's up. Your fiancé, otherwise known as super girlfriend. And then when you get married, it becomes queen girlfriend. Exactly. Combat knows. What kind of pet you have? We have a dog. He's super old. and does most of nothing. He likes doing this. And then if he's not doing this, he does this. And drives me crazy sometimes. He likes pooping outside. He loves that. He loves being taken outside, and then he does poopies. I take him for walks, but the amount of walking that I do versus the amount of walking that he can do is disproportionate. Where I sometimes worry that I'm gonna kill him just with how far. Like I've taken him on like a 2.5 hour walk, and he's like, like on those walks. He has a lot of fur on him as well. And then when he gets back home, he literally puts his arms inside of his water bowl to try and cool down. So he is old, so maybe that's my fault, but he does like that too. He speaks. So why use many words when few words do trick? By that logic, super girlfriend is also a princess. That one was cute. Yo, katane, I don't know what that means. Why not tomorrow? Don't know the context. I volunteer at the casino for wheelchair hockey. So much fun. I do it twice a year. Wheelchair hockey. Like you go and watch the wheelchair hockey and then you volunteer as part of the people that take care of stuff? Or do you get in a wheelchair and play hockey? I am as gay as I am jolly. How gay are you, Chill? We have a friend asking, are you gay? What would it change? Would it change anything if I was or wasn't gay? If I told you I'm married to a woman, does that suddenly give me +5 respect points? If I said I was married to a man, do I get -5 respect points? Right? And why is that your metric for how much or how little I am supposed to be respected? That would be my curiosity. My question to you, why that metric? Why that metric specifically? I would judge a person on their character if I had to judge them, right? I judge a person on the kind of actions they take potentially. Maybe even, right? If I get really down into it, the words they say. However, the people they want to sleep with, of very little consequence to me, right? I think it's hard enough dealing with all of the other metrics of information without, like, I rarely talk to people about their sex lives, right? And I don't talk to other people about mine because it's like, you don't need to know, and I don't need to know. And because we rarely try and find out, then I'll probably judge upon, gain or lose respect based on what I can see, right? I would care more that you love your husband or wife than I would care if you have a husband or wife, kind of thing. So I hope you find love in your heart as well. CHH. Sending you blessings, dear friend. Good morning to you. Savior Monday. Or is evening. Maybe you're somewhere else in the world. Tell us where you are. It's a lot more common than you think. The Vesica Pisces liver is big, you say. Wait, this is not a casino? I thought this was a casino the whole time. You are giving me the resource of your time in hopes that I might hit you some sort of jackpot of something interesting. Boom. Bet you didn't expect that. Yeah, get casinoed or something. Oh, no. Speaking of dogs, how's your little Jack Russell doing in South Africa? Kobe is doing just fine. Kobe and Eva are still living their best lives. Most of the babies have found new homes, which is kind of sad to me. I would have loved to spend more time with him. But yeah, one of them got kept, Dash, the haired one of the litter. He's the one that got to stay at home. And my mom has started a feud with the dogs, or at least the dogs have continued to be dogs in the way that they don't respect that they have mud on their feet sometimes, and then they are on my mom's carpets in her room. So they have been denied entry into her room. I don't know if they've been the night entry into the house as well, but I'm pretty sure they're not allowed inside her room anymore. So yeah, they're definitely having an experience. They're still on the farm, right? Like most of their existence is just existing, kind of like being them dark selves. Ah, my mic is dead. Boom, wow. Yeah, my mic is dead. My tablet has died. How many push-ups can you do at once? Strange question. And just because my microphone quality is now bad, I'll test it. You want me to test it? Let me go to the bathroom first, though. All right. Give me 1 second. I haven't done much push-ups today. So this feels like an opportunity. I'm gonna drink some creatine. Yes. Give me a scoop of creatine, yes. And you're like, why, Melt? What does creatine do? Creatine is something you get from red meat, and it essentially serves your body in the production of ATP, which is your body's internal energy source. All of the food you eat gets eventually turned into ATP on the cellular level. Your mitochondria, the powerhouse of your cell, produces ATP, and creatine helps it. Having a concentration, and ideally a high concentration of creatine in your blood, allows you to push yourself harder because your cells literally have more resources to work with in the production of the energy source. A caregiver for the quadriplegic guy for decades who played wheelchair hockey. That's cool. Bless. Mel, put a charger by your spot. Yeah, I could. Technically, I think there is an extra plug down there. Next season of Arrested Development. I've heard good stuff, but I need to watch it myself. To deduce a whole person's existence into a sexual preference. How about, hey, what you thinking? Exactly. Bro is AI. People do think I am. People have been thinking I'm AI for a long time. What did ya? I'm a real person, okay? I just engage with reality in a way that seems very strange. Let's say strange. Because when we ask other people what they think, we have to suffer through somebody's ignorant ass opinion on something I could have just Googled. Well, if you're having a conversation, asking them how they're feeling, asking them a feeling question, whether or not they give you a feeling response, it could be a matter of depth exploration. He's been around before AI. I have been around since before AI. You can go and look. You can go and check out my story. It's been unfolding for a long time. Mind blown again. I thought you were AI, and I thought this was a casino. I thought this was an AI casino. I grow red beets. I swear it gives you such a boost. I should. It's the nitric oxide throw enough of the winter. I should do red beets. I should juice a beet and then drink it in the mornings. I love beets. I think we need to start doing the beets. I feel like that's the universe being like, yeah, do beets next. Yeah. Creatine, yeah. Magnesium, yeah, sure. Methylene blue, do it. Yeah, vitamins, BB vitamins, do get it. And now beets. I need to do beets next. Could be. Is this common there in your country, or are you the only one reading this much books? I haven't read most of those. Full disclosure. This is what I'm reading right now. I'm like that deep into it, so I'm mostly done. It's good stuff. I'm actually almost done. I probably will finish this in the next 2 days. Your Head is a Houseboat by Struthless, or Campbell. Campbell Walker, as he has a human name too. I'm still like postponing doing these push-ups now. My body is like, nah, I don't want any push-ups. You're gonna do push-ups, buddy. You can postpone, no, but it's happening. I have had the thought. I have said that I will. And now it's just about action. There was a time before ChatGPT when we hallucinated by reading slices of tree slash ink. I have BT, it's yummy, sounds good. Can any of you older ones here corroborate? Do you guys remember reading? It's funny that we just started talking about reading. That's hilarious. Easiest thing to grow, leaves, root, all edible. It's true. You just see it, I guess, right? So it's common there. I missed that part. Yeah, sounds like poetry. What is that book about, Mel? The book is about seeing. It's like a framework to looking at mental health. Coffee got done. It's about mental health. And considering your mind, I don't have a microphone attached to me anymore. Considering your mind, or your head as a houseboat, all right, and then you have a bunch of freeloaders, entities, rooms in this houseboat, and each of those rooms, each of those entities, the bosses, the sock puppets of criticism, they have different roles, right? You hold on to things. You have freeloaders in your houseboat up here that lives rent free, that uncle that said something silly, that aunt that made you feel unworthy, and then breaking it down in almost like a way for your mind to look at it. That is not just kind of like clinical in its exploration. It's been a good book. Feels like an interesting take on mental health. That sounds really good. If I had to read you the description, in Your Head is a Houseboat, the illustration sensation Campbell Walker demystifies brain functions, mental health, emotions, mindfulness, and psychology, but with less complex terminology and more bizarre metaphor. This is a book filled with hilarious illustrations, simple journal exercises, and words that will probably hit close to home. It will help you to understand your own houseboat or head, and ultimately make it a nicer place to live. That is the purpose. The perfect vehicle to help you create a new relationship with the complex and often contradictory characters and places in your head. A red hot reminder that we're not experts at life simply because we're alive, and that you can make your head a far more comfy place for you to exist in. Campbell unlocks complex self models with his boundless talent for art and metaphor. So yeah, it is pretty neat. I've been enjoying it. I'm currently reading Atomic Habits. That's a good one too. I think it's the last book I picked up with Christopher Priest's The Prestige. Was Christopher Priest The Prestige. Got about 100 pages in and ran out of the consistent time to sit down and read. Maybe it's time to try again. Waking up early is how I get time to read. And I'm not even saying like waking up early, like 6 a.m. and then whatever, but just when I wake up, I actually wake up. I don't just lay there and do things and wait for something. I just get up and then I go in and read a bit. And that's how I've read all of those pages. Definitely is the best way I've figured out how to do it. I'm definitely not a consistent reader either. Okay, I think it's happening. No more further ado, I say. Time for boom push-ups. Is that it? Perspective. Boom. Nice. Edges inside the frame. Extra light things. Not that it's really necessary. I mean, you get the whole sun to contend with. My breath is starting to become labored and I'm spitting even. Ugh. Yeah. Ugh. Sometimes you'll spit. Push yourself so hard you start spitting about it. Put that in your quotes and smoke it. Whew. My body just got mode shifted. I went from being very relaxed to feeling like I'm very activated. Jeez. All right. So much body heat. Hi to you, Kenny. Welcome back. 24 or something. Definitely not top world performer. I need to be able to do like 60 in a row if I want to be close to the peak of my age group, but 24 is good enough. I don't really practice. Now you feel pumped. I do actually feel pretty pumped. You can like see my chest is it's like filled to the brim right now. Just encouraging all of this, the testosterone. Do 120 seconds. Then I'll do one of those that are like you're just like basically bumping up and down. I do feel like I did proper form push-ups at the very least. Yeah, whoa, stop. Do you really realize what you've done? Great, the days are like 5 minutes longer now. How much is the count? Was cancelled. Yeah, I stopped counting at 20. Don't do it. It's evidence you're fit for conscription. Oh, please. No, actually, that was AI. Boom. Yes, freed myself again. That was actually the AI part. The fact that I can do push-ups. That was the not real part. I think I can do 11, but I'm curious. Yeah. Push-ups. I am happy that I did them. I feel like that's kind of the thought for me, where I was like, it would be good It would be good. Yes, this person asked, and I can't take that as the only reason to be challenged. But at the same time, squat can you do? The most, or you know what? Aditya, I'll do the squats next. I usually do 40 in a row. Oh yeah, buddy. I hope you're doing squats and push-ups with me. You better not just be watching on the sidelines. You better be practicing with me. That's the only way it's fair. I'm happy that you're excited with the physical exertion challenging. All right. Yes, I'm watching you guys. It's my rest day today. Nice. Visualize yourself doing these squats with me. Visualize. Joe giving me stars. Visualize yourself doing these squats as I do them, even if you only have to do them in mind. Yes, still, it would be good. I'm not doing it right now, but I have to work out later. LFG. Okay then. All right. It is time. How am I gonna do this? Is there a more glamorous way for me to do this? I don't think doing squats is very glamorous. Again, limber your body up. That show is starving me up. Nice, I feel the hype. That was 10 or 11, right? I'll do at least 4 sets of 11.
I think I could have done 60 or 70. And I probably miscounted a bunch. But I'll stop it at 55. $55 gold stars, you win. Nice. 1134 to 1141. My body needs to recover. Sweet. I think I've stabilized. I don't think much more was said. All's good. What does your name mean? MeltMore. When you feel like you're melting, melt more. The name is one of those that means a great deal of things to me at this point. It's like asking you, what does your name mean? Like, sure, you can go and look up online, what does John mean? What does Peter mean? And you probably will find some sort of meaning attached to that name. But at the same time, the life you lived holding your name has become what it means to you. The way my name started is as a deliberate choice to pick a pseudonym for myself because I wanted to become a DJ, actually. I don't know if it's the most glamorous origin story in the whole wanting to become a DJ, but I had to pick myself a DJ name. It's pretty expected, especially in our little small Psytrance community back home, for you to have a stage name. And then me and my friends set out with the intention to pick me a stage name on that day. And it was a very hot South African day, and I was laying back, and I, in the space of like, I told Adam, I'm melting. And he looked at me and he went, melt more. And it became my name. I was like, yeah, I am melting. And yeah, I should melt more. And it took me a long time before I ever used the name properly. I adopted the name and it had personal significance to me, but I hadn't used it, right? I didn't become a DJ. At that point in my life, I was also in the process of finding a job in China. So after picking this name with a friend, I moved. And then I got into my life, my pattern, my process that I was engaging with as a working person. And then December rolled around and I was given some time off because the kids had like school vacation. And suddenly I had time to myself and I created my YouTube channel, calling it MeltMore. I set my country, after doing research and it letting me know that that's the best place to set it at, to America, to the United States when I created my account. Apparently it's supposed to help you get better exposure or whatever. And I created some YouTube videos about my experience in China. They're still up on my channel. If you really do want to go and check them out, I think they're kind of embarrassing. I tried to script them roughly and I cut the footage. It was an experience. And then I came back home way later in that experience. During that time, it was COVID. It's also why I was creating the second videos. Went back to teaching again, traveled a bunch, getting sent places to get my paperwork, trying to sort it out. And then came back home. And then spent time with Adam, again, of all people, actually. And he lived with at our place for a while, you know, like while he was finding his feet, finding his next step kind of thing. And we spent like 2-ish, 3-ish months just like playing games together. And it was fun, right? There was enjoyment found in that experience. However, we both knew that it wasn't going to be the only thing that we can do, be okay with doing, right, forever. So he moved and I stayed. And I had this whole, and we talked about it at the start of today's stream, I had this whole thought about, I've created this channel now. I've gotten myself the computer that I thought I needed in order to create the content that I thought I should, right? And now there's nothing anymore standing in my way but action. I have thought the thoughts, I have said the words at that point to my immediate friends and family that I would like to create, like become a content creator, right? As a choice for career, create something that people would want to experience, kind of thing, right? And the way that it manifested to me as how I'm supposed to continue forward is with live streaming. And then MeltMore grew from that, where it became this active approach of showing up for love, as Sam shared a little earlier, this corrective curve, this corrective force, this alignment towards. And who I was had to melt away as a consequence of showing up for and with that name continuously, right? The whole identification. We talked about how the ego can become very identified, either with thoughts, with words, with actions, all of them at the same time, them in different ratios, when that is not actually who you are. And MeltMore has become this new entity that I've created as myself, for myself, right? There's still all of this that I've been, my childhood, my previous name, right? And the people that still call me by that name because that's who they knew, right? Before I became MeltMore. Melt for short, right? And it's an active reminder on the other side as well. Like, a name is fundamentally attached to an ego. And every time someone says my name, it's a reminder that I should let go. I should melt my rigid attachment to who I think I am, who I want you to think I am, right? That who you think I am will melt and reconsolidate multiple times in your mind, as it will melt and reconsolidate multiple times in mine. And all of us are actively in that process. We are doing that. We are melting our egos and then recasting it. And our environment and our schedules and our commitments become the textures into which your ego meshes, right? And the face that it creates as a result. That is Zoe. That is Zoe just screaming, but he's learned by now that screaming doesn't get my attention. So he'll probably calm down, and then I'll go and fetch him again at some point. Yes, I am watching you, because it's the rest day. Love again to you. Worked out. What does your name mean? Now you've heard. Lone Buffalo. My name continues to mean something to me in that way. Thank you for asking. Why did you choose the word or name Lone Buffalo? Also trap air, love again. MeltMore, hippie, noun. I am becoming more. Yes. Something that is molten, right? When you add to it other things, if that thing glows hot enough, the other things melts and becomes a part of it. Our modern society and our modern metals are as good as they are because we have figured out how to do something that's called alloying, right? And an alloy is when you mix two or more metals together, and then the mix of them makes a whole new state, right? The crystalline state of that metal changes because it's mixed with something else. Maybe at some point I will become metallic. Hopefully even then I'll still have the fluidity and malleability to continue changing, right? For the better, ideally. However, when it comes to our mental state, staying in that molten state, even unknowing, right, that I know nothing state, molten, still liquid, still holding all of that potential, right? It can be put against something cold, right? The coldness of reality, the rigid structures that are set out in front of us, the guardrails, the train tracks, right? Cold and solid. And maybe you'll have to consolidate, crystallize in those immediate spots of your life so that you can interact with your world. However, the state at which you exist when all of this potentially goes away, right, needs to remain fluid. Don't become too rigid in your expression. Allow yourself to experience and be change. Mine means warrior princess, simply battle axe. That's pretty cool. It's a sweet story. We trap it when we go down because it doesn't put any excessive fatigue on our core or something. We just have the example of a balloon. It pops when the air goes out. I breathe needs-based. I'm sure that there probably is like less physical exertion that I could experience in doing squats. However, I feel I did more than I intended to. All right. Well, do more still. You are the DJ of consciousness, you could say. Let's see what track plays today. Love to you, dry historian. Chauvin, a masculine Slavic name meaning God is gracious, or youthful, jovial, apparently. But really, it means my mom liked the way it sounds, and that's really it. And what that name means to you is a direct expression of your life, right? The way your name has been said, the way you want your name to be said as well, right? The respect you want kind of attached to it. No, relax. I'm not gonna do a plank session as well. When Arpan happen, it's more relevant when you have weight on your shoulders. Interesting, Aditya. I do hatha, so I've learned to use the body movements to be supported by the breath. Inhaling on the abduction or extension and exhaling on the adduction or flexion. Mind-body connection, using the movements like a pump to the breath. Exactly. I feel like that's what I was trying to do during my squats as well. But I guess it depends on what you're going for. Yeah, you're right. True. Love is true. I'm happy that you feel that. Leatherface, sending you blessings. What about the plank session? Thank you for explaining. Similar stories to yours, actually. There you go. It's interesting how we align in more ways than we really realize sometimes. Plank session, put the foot on the floor, camera facing the ceiling and centered on your face plank, just like that. Something from who I was, then something I became, and then later something else. Always. I think what am I supposed to do with that? Put you in time. Stephen Martins, merman. Flight got delayed to Vegas. 12 hours. I'm super stressed out. Steve. Take a big breath with me, bro. I know that the big breath is not going to necessarily alleviate all of your stress, especially since when we plan vacations, and it is Thursday, right? We have places to be. We have things we want to see, and the time frames we have allotted ourselves, and a 12-hour flight delay is criminal. I'm sorry that you're going through that, friend. I can imagine it being super stressful. I still envision, and I see it in my mind's eye now, that your weekend is going to be beautiful. Maybe this round of bad luck on your flight is going to give you good luck in Vegas. Don't gamble with your money, but you are gambling with your time, right? Hoping that this experience is going to be valuable. And I still envision it will be. I hope you meet cool people. Lone Buffalo, I think the Canadian prairies and the song The 100th Meridian is lovely. Alone. Translated? Sam. Love is true. Okay, bye-bye. It's bedtime. Good night. Sleep well, friend. Definitely need to hear something sweet. I hope that was it for you, friend. Bless to you. Jurassic Park music. Steve, head over to Reddit and binge yourself on cute cat pictures. Love is true. I'm just too hyper right now. Merman, you're sweet. Sing a little doodah, and you've got the sweet little Jekyll sound. I was going to say, but a big breath is probably healthier. Thanks, MeltMore. Love to you, friend. Fam, I didn't even make it to the airport. I'm home in Canada. Steve Martinez. You are Merman, are you not? Do I have my gears not meshing correctly? Maybe. Home in Canada. That's a while away. Getting to Vegas. I'm sorry again. That sucks. It sucks. Hi to you, Kenny. Hey, Kenny. Thank you for joining us again. Love is true. Can you leave the airport to get some point? Are you stuck? Look at those dimples. Don't look at my dimples. Fine. You can look at my dimples. Oh, is it far back? Why? Dimples is one of those things that I've had, like, I knew I had dimples before I knew I had a face. German. You're like, what does that mean, Melt? Think about it, right? I was a little child. I haven't really formed an ego consciousness at that point. I didn't look in the mirror and be like, oh, that's me. I guess I could, but I didn't do that intentionally, right? But even like as that child, as early as I can remember, my mom's friends would be like, oh, get your elegant dimples. And then they would put their fingers in my face. And I would be like, stop. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. And they wouldn't understand. They wouldn't understand why I was like that. And then I would go and play outside. Because outside I didn't have dimples. Your name is Dimple. My name is not freaking Dimples. Wife and I were super happy to celebrate Honeymoon 2.0. We're gonna see Marshmallow Saturday. Is he any good? I mean, yeah. I listen to a fair bit of Marshmallow tracks. Sure. I feel it's very... like you're not gonna get your nervous system skizzed. Right? Sometimes, some of my music can be a little bit... right? And a part of me takes great satisfaction out of getting a little bit... because it's like, oh, what's happening? Is something gonna happen any second now? Where Marshmallow is a little bit more like wallopy. Where it's like marshmallows. It's like something doofy that you can go and lay comfortably on. And there won't be any sharpy bits or too much unexpectedness. All right, so in that way, yeah, I would probably love to go to a Marshmallow thing too. Personal space. Lol, the land of Sing Hortons, resorts and lone buffaloes. Your name is Dimples. Love your plants. Thank you. That's my wife's doing. She really does put in a lot of effort. And she's like, yeah, I've put in a lot of effort, but now I need to put in a lot of more effort. and we're gonna probably do it at some point together. Too much unexpectedness. Think of the ants. Why did you do that to me, Buffalo? Now I have to think about all of the intricacies. What is it, hundreds, if not thousands of different species? The multiple trillions upon trillions of ant bodies. The biomass of them outweighing humanity's. There's more ant biomass, right, ant body, than there is human body on planet Earth. They hate each other. Ants are kind of racist. Ants would. Absolutely. And this is an interesting thing. I can't remember who said it to me. Who did say that? I can't remember. Who did? I want to give credit towards, but the point really like locked into my brain that ants as a society have grown so large in mind that they want to expand their territory. They understand or have come to the conclusion of that their way of living, their society, their day-to-day activity is at such a high ideal that they need more territory to continue that highest ideal. And they would, if they were given the power to put themselves everywhere, they would have a single ant species on the entire planet, and they would rule, have complete dominion over everything. They would if they could. So they fight. Because there's so many of them. They fight. They enslave, even. They force, they steal other ants' babies, and then when they hatch, they force them to work in their equivalent of the farms, where they cultivate and feed fungal networks, biomass, so that they can harvest that myceliated web and eat that instead, because it's higher nutrients. Yes. I think Joe talked about them fighting disease. They fight viruses with their little antibodies. They apply medical aid. Did you know that? Did you know that ants apply medical aid? If you chop an ant's leg off, I'm sorry, science is brutal sometimes, and you put it in an ant nest, right, with its kin, they will doctor that ant. They will like take care of it. They will like its little woundies, right, until they're closed up and healed. And the crazy thing is that if you douse another insect in the same pheromones as the ants, they will do medical aid on other insects too. Yes. Yes, insects. How about that? Ants. Ants can do medical aid. Did you ever think about that? They know how to do medical aid on their own. That is wild. That's crazy to me. Thanks, Lone Buffalo. Look what you've done. Oh, now you're making me nerd out about ants. Now people know I'm autistic. Fire ants are invasive in America. Some of them can be bad. I have the worst allergies right now. Nasal drips, GVs. Yeah. I get those itchy eyes, and like for me, it's the throat itch where you're like scratching the back of your throat with your tongue. With me, like I'm tripping out just thinking about it. That's what happens if you have a bad. I mean, did we not see Ant-Man? Swoosh. Reminds me of the movie Bugs Life. I loved Bugs Life. I loved Bugs Life, and I loved Ants. I watched those two movies many times. That's why I'm so into ants at this point in my life. That must have been my childhood. My childhood coming back to bite me in the ass every time. We're coming full circle. Doctor, he's sick. What should we do? Give him ants. Give him 4 ants. Stat. Give him 4 ants. You come out with a stab wound. Put some ants on that man. Put ants. Dose him in pheromones and then put ants on him. Historian Ant-Man was by far the weakest installment, and I stopped paying attention way before that. I think I stopped paying attention around then. I still like the idea, but it did kind of get to a point where it's like, I think now it's just like an exploration. It's not really a story anymore, right? I think all of us probably was a little bit locked in for the story at some point, but now it's just kind of like, yeah, I think it happens that way with most times and most things. Time for something else. Exactly, Tomo. That's what I was thinking as well. So many plans behind you. Just noticed that. Plants? There are plants. There's plants in here? Maybe. Some plants. Oh my god, that's a bunch of them. Ja. Baie planten. Ongelooflijk baie planten. More planten than I've ever had in my house at one point. Like dead or alive. I think there's more plants in this house than I've had vegetables in my fridge growing up. I mean, that's not how it works, Mel. Don't at me. That's exactly how it works. I mean, this just reminds me of how we used to use leeches for medical aid. Yeah, it's like, yes, put some leech on them. Yeah, suck the toxins out of that. That's what they need. Let's make a hole in their head. They need to have all of that headache blood out of their head. You know, we shouldn't have them, increase their water intake maybe, or have them, participate in physical activity. No, we should drill a hole in their head. Not that far back. It's not that far back, exactly. That's the crazy part. It's like 100 to at most 200 years back. In fact, freaking, you don't know that? Yeah, you do know that. I think you know that. Yeah, you know what they used to do that. Yes. And then, of course, like maybe just like a hole in your arm that you bleed out all of the spirits inside your blood. And then here, have some cocaine for your drowsiness, because we just like took half your blood out of your body and you're viciously anemic, probably. The bad blood. Balancing the humors. There it is. Yeah, no, Buffalo definitely knows what I'm talking about. Yes. You must balance the humors, of course. And if you get too zooted on this cocaine that I gave you, have some heroin to balance your humors again. Get you all leveled out, right? And then also here is like little tablets, of methamphetamine to help you lose weight while you're busy. Nice shared fractal, Buffalo. Back in my day, we used to work 20 hours a day. Yeah, because you were on meth, granddaddy. That's not how it works. That's Lamau, such a topic. Yeah, we do go into many. I feel like what I've tried to get better at is knowing that there is a dynamic give and take. I think I have shared in so many words what it is I was supposed to say today. And at this point, I just am enjoying my time here with you, friends. Yeah, unironically, literally. No, surely not, Melt. Yeah, surely. Go and look. There we go, perfect. Yeah, it's a whole other beast. Yeah, small little 3 milligram tablets. Because back then, doctors weren't complete. What? Because back then, I mean, they used to have Coca-Cola, yeah. Used to be able to get prescription for whiskey. Yes, for my humors. Love the story of the Finnish Britain soldier. I mean, yeah, Germany as well. And then they gave it to housewives as a weight loss medicine later, where they were like, yo, wanna get stuff done? Wanna be like super stoked about washing dishes and cooking food and lose weight at the same time and have reduced appetite? Buy these little tablets. When was that? 1960s? I think that was the 1960s and 1950s. But this thing is not awake right now. Haven't heard that in ages. Yeah, sign me up. Sign me up. Sign me up. That sounds great. Housewives of the 50s said, like, that sounds awesome. All of those things. Surely there's no consequences. Surely there's no negative health effects. And I wouldn't be surprised if still many of those ladies, are alive today. Maybe not. They would be, I mean, surely. Would be awesome to have a conversation with a lady that was like getting a lot of stuff done. Super pippy. Always super stoked. Always. Pretty sure. Yeah. That's why I'm not saying it out loud, Dry Historian. Rose, you might want to Google. Are you guys sure? Don't Google that. That's one of those save yourself kind of things. And I'm gonna save myself by pulling sacred geometry cards. Yes. Yes, good images. Yes, more. Ah, I'm getting washed. Yeah. This is what it feels like when you take a shower. Of imagery. Yes, better than what I was seeing just before, 1 second ago. Maybe you want some too? Here, I'll shower you too. Here, look at those. Look at those. Aren't they pretty? Yeah. Yeah. You're welcome. You're welcome. We are all cleansed. Let's pull a card, shall we? For making me anxious. No, I'm anxious here too. Anxieties. Okay, you might be wondering, what am I doing? I am flaring these cards. And if you tell me when to stop, and I'll do so. And then when I stop, I have to Google. No, you poor thing. You poor thing, Dry Historian. They get the best of us, them Google. Sometimes South Park used it in that way. They're always the authority on vulgarity. I mean, if you were going for vulgarity, that's definitely the right direction. 55, the number of push-ups. You feel like that's gonna be the card? I do like card 55. I think it's Octomotion. I think that was the first card that I showed, wasn't it? You're right. You're right. Prairie Wolf. Very interesting. That is a synchronicity. That is a cool synchronicity. I like that, actually. Me scanning my memory folders like, oh wow, look at that. Damn. My arm is getting taxed, yo. Come on, somebody tell me to stop, please. Please, you type STOP on your keyboard. And then send hit send, please. Stop, thank you, Jadula. Oh, Tomo Karin actually came through at the same time. This is the card. Nice. I do like this card. It feels like the right card for today. Yeah, it does. It feels extra synchronous. I mean, some of you friends have been here for more of it. And I would like for you to be the judgment. The discerning factor. And whether you feel like this is aligned with today's message as well. A warrior with outstretched arms holding a bundle of arrows. Surrounded by blue fire that melts away ego. It says burns away, I think, in the reading, but yeah. Well, welcome to knowing me. Pulling out archaic knowledge. That is wildly specific example of that word being used. Wow, have I ever seen this card pulled? Not a lot. I think we've pulled it maybe like 9 times. But it is a special one to me. Reminds me of the painting, The Scream, without the scream. Interesting. There's 5-flower geometry embedded in the back of it. You see that? It's a 5-flower. All right. Read time. Card number 28. What does it mean, Jadula? You are the first stop that I saw, so I feel like all of your stops came through like very quick in a couple of second time frame, but you're the first one that I saw. It is a pretty card. Reminds me of the painting Scream because it doesn't remind me of anything. When you see someone holding a bundle of arrows in front of you, right? Not using them to shoot at something, not using them to try and stab you, just holding it out. You see nothing in that? That means nothing to you? He looks kind of like he's Super Saiyan 2, bro. Look at that. Oh, boom. Ah, yes. Edward Munch. Classic art. Fractalicious. You friends. Card number 28. Self-awareness and seeking wisdom. Did it pause or is it just me? I hope it's not just you. Or I hope it is just you. I'll exit out, just you. Okay. Thank you, Buffalo. I'm gonna do this. Bring it back again. I don't know if that fixes anything for you, but sometimes swipe up and swipe back or something. Makes me feel like he's giving out his power by only holding the arrows. Let's see. Self-awareness and seeking wisdom. There are passages and veils through which shamans and visionaries transcend personal limitations and pierce through outmoded thought forms. It is by purity of purpose and by the ability to focus intentions that this becomes possible. The shaman holds a bundle of arrows representing the strength of a peaceful warrior. He is surrounded by blue flames that melt away ego. It does say burn away, but creative liberties, right? Powerful 5-flower geometry aids him in his interdimensional quest. This is a demanding pursuit that will require the visionary to be conscious and vigilant. As he pierces veils of illusion, he gains self-awareness and access to insights and wisdom beyond the conventional. This card suggests that you are in quest of greater understanding of your life path. Imagine that you travel with the shaman into the geometry and into your own pursuit of self-awareness. Gaze past the veil of ego and delusion. Let it be your intention to move beyond these limitations and into your own personal truth. Courageously step forward and pursue the way of wisdom. What a card. Damn. Makes me feel like he's giving up his power. Not giving up his power, stepping into his power by being a peaceful warrior. I don't think we pulled this card reverse, but maybe you don't see yourself as this peaceful warrior. Because even though I identify a lot of this journey as a shaman, as someone that tries to guide all of us as a collective through these geometries, right? It's been a big part of this space for a very long time. You are that as well. You are that as well. You are surrounded by blue flames that burn away ego. 5-flower geometry aids you in your interdimensional quest. It will be a demanding pursuit that will require you to be conscious and vigilant. Pierce the veil of illusion, gain self-awareness, and access the insights and wisdom that go beyond the conventional. If you don't believe this awareness could also represent a passage from this three-dimensional reality, a journey that pierces the veil between life and death, seek the wisdom and sensitivity needed to be of support to those who are facing loss and those who are passing. Don't let yourself believe you are unworthy. Trust. Trust that there is more good for us still. Hey, Zoe. He has been good. You want to say goodbye to our friends? Yeah. Say goodbye time. Hello, Zoe. Come on. Come on, Zoe. Come on. No? Step up. Come on. No, let's go outside. Good girl. Well. Hello. Hello. Hello, Zoe. There you go. Zoe says I love you. Step up. Step up. Step up. Step up here. Step up. Step up. Step up, Zoe. Come on. Step up. He's like, your knee is not stable. Maybe if I do like this, does it seem more stable? Step up. Come on. Step up. Me trying to train him too. Hello. Should I move this away for you? It's too close. Hello, Zoe. Where do you want to go? You want to go outside? Outside is cold. Bye. You want to go outside? It's cold out there. You want to step up here? Yeah? Step up? Yeah, step up here. Come on. We're going to move. That's not stable. Step up here. Step up here. You're going to go bye-bye. There you go. Good girl. You want a cookie? It's too cold. It's too cold outside. You want to go outside? You're not going to want to be out there for long. Good girl. How long do you think it's going to last? $30? Can Zoe fly? Nope. He's 30 this year. Yep. That's an old man. The burrito bandies here. I hate birds. They were once dinosaurs. That's a reason to hate them. I loved dinosaurs as a kid. And I think I still love them to this day. Having a little mini dinosaurus that lives with us is pretty cool to me. Must say, he is screaming about it though. He's like, rah! You thought you can just escape? Never. We are not burritoing the entire universe. I will only be satisfied once I wrap planet Earth in a tortilla that is bigger than Earth. Yes, must wrap it. Must wrap it completely. What's up? It's cold out here, huh? You want to step up? Come on. It's cold out here. It's cold out here. It's freaking cold. It's cold. I'm freaking cold now. Yeah. Stop. Okay. You want to say bye-bye? Say bye-bye. And give a kiss. Mwah. You want to give me a high five? Wow. There you go. You're going to get him. You're going to get him. Yeah. Wow. Wow. There's another one. You missed this one. Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye again. Say bye-bye. Bye. Good girl. It's a good girl, Zoe. That's a good girl. Good girl, Zoe. Alrighty. Back again. Yes. What's up? Says who? Burps sometimes outlive their owners. They have a long lifetime. That burp outlived his previous owner. Chickens are awful people. You're the collective burrito. You are but a drop of water to the ocean. Yes, chickens are people. You didn't know. They're just not very good people. Right? They don't sit at table. They don't have good conversations. They're really bad drivers. Yeah, chickens, literally, they're terrible at driving. But apparently pigeons are good at being homing missiles. I wish I was joking, but that's actually a real. That's true. That part is true. Dry. Zoe outlived his last owner. Actually, that's how he found us. Exactly. Did you have Zoe back in the ARC band days, or is he new? Technically, end of ARC band days. Yep, had him for 4 to 5 years now. You were but a rice grain in the burrito. My God, what a humbling perspective. Yeah, you think a whole burrito can be anything? If you only put one, like, oh, I'm gonna make a burrito, puts down one singular grain of rice. Here you go. Wraps singular grain of rice in tin foil. Puts tin foil and single grain of rice in toaster. Yes, humbling, isn't it? Pigeon tastes better if you call it squaw. I don't know. Hope that you're well, Connor. Bless the Holy Burrito. Be blessed, dear friend. Thank you for joining us, Toons. It's nice having you here. Crows are pretty smart people by that logic, exactly. Yes, that's what happens when you go to Chipotle. If you order online anyway, they put a single grain of rice down on you. Exactly, that's what they do. Freaking corporate greed, dude, corporate greed getting the best of us. I appreciate you, friends, for acknowledging this space as free from corporate greed. I at least hope that you see it in that way, right? It is something I do with a lot of intention. I appreciate you, friends, a lot, all right? Exactly as you are. Come as you may, when you want. I look forward to showing up with your friends again tomorrow. Goodbye. Love ya. See you again soon. Hey, goes are crazy smart. Octopuses are crazy smart, but they break out of aquariums and solve Rubik's cubes in the gift shop. You are fun, dude. Too bad you're not in America. I literally am in America, Lone Buffalo. Like, literally. I live here now. I will not be visiting anytime soon. Yeah, Africa is a while away. But thanks for wanting to visit me at some point. What? Yeah. But tune again in tomorrow to find out about more. I live in Indiana, dude. I married an American girl. That's Jobot. This is my American house. I missed that part of the story. Yeah, that's this part. Like, and we met. I'm in Ohio. That's not too far away. That's like a rock throw. I can like throw a rock probably at Ohio. Love is true. We'll see more of each other, friend. Continue being a beautiful energy in this space, and the universe will ensure that we get to meet. Doing an extra long stream today, 3 hours and 8 minutes. We really put in the work. Thank you, friends, for doing this work with me today. You are appreciated and loved. Beautifuls. Love is true. See you at the Dollar General. Goodbye, friend. Maybe the McDonald's or something. Maybe the CVS. Love to you, friends.